The final league meeting in the Tolworth derby between Kingstonian and Corinthian Casuals ends in a 1-1 draw. Hayden, did either side do enough to win that game?
I thought that we did. I'm pleased with the way that we controlled the game. I think that you could see the work that the players have put in since the Potters Bar game. I think in terms of the control, if you look at Enfield, if you look at Carshalton, if you look in Merstham, if you look at Worthing in the cup game, if you look on Saturday, the control was much better at the levels we expect. And I reflect on the game in a disappointment that we've conceded the goal that we shouldn't have conceded. We spoke about Jerry, we spoke about that threat. And in the second half, I think we worked the ball into some great areas, and ultimately perhaps just lacked just a little bit of quality to turn that control into 3 points.
Yeah, last 25 minutes in particular, I thought, there was only one team who looked like they were going to go and win that game, and it wasn't that we were missing chances, we just didn't quite have the quality to turn the territory into chances ultimately.
I would agree with you. Look, this is a really difficult game. I mean, there's plenty of teams that have come here and struggled. You know I spoke to Adam last week in Worthing, and he was absolutely delighted with their point. Carshalton have come here and they've lost. And, with respect to Corinthian Casuals, I don't suppose that Corinthian Casuals, their players, their supporters, play every game with that passion and that desire. So these games are always more difficult for us. But, of course, we're disappointed not to win. But I can see us we're now turning that corner, turning things around from what I've described as a mini blip. And I think that the performance deserved a better result, but today it was important to win, but in the bigger picture, more important not to lose. It's been a difficult few weeks, we all know that, and I can see that we're coming out of it now.
How much were we affected by the injury to Elliot Buchanan? It felt like he was really imposing himself on their defence, and when he went off, how did we miss him, and what's the prognosis on him?
Well, Elliot broke his nose a few weeks ago. Apologise, I can't remember the game in which he did now, but he broke his nose a few weeks ago, and now he's broken his nose again.
Okay.
So he's not a happy man, that's for sure. And I really feel for him. Listen, I'm sure it wasn't on purpose, but that's no consolation to Elliot at the moment. And we decided to return a little bit to the way we've been playing in pre-season. And at the start of the season, we didn't play with two strikers. We went for real pace with Daniel, with Walter, with Rhys Morel Williamson, and Elliot tucked in as the number 10, and it was working. I think that they were proving a handful for their back players. Just to explain, the reason that Gus wasn't playing was out of our control. He was stuck at work today with a Premier League audit, and the auditors wouldn't let him come out of work. So as much as he wants to play for Kingstonian, I think he prefers to keep his job. So Gus actually didn't arrive till after kick-off. We can't question Gus's commitment. Yeah. It's one of those things. And we worked really hard on the training ground with the shape. I could see the work. And it's a shame. It's a shame that we just haven't defended one corner, and that's prevented us from all 3 points.
A couple of other things on the team sheet that might surprise people. Rob Tolfrey starting a league game on the bench is a real rarity in his time at Kingstonian, and Jason Banton not in the squad as well. What's the story behind those two?
There's no great drama with Rob. Rob is a club legend. He's been brilliant for this club. He's been brilliant for me. I mean, let's get it straight. He's been brilliant for me. But whether you've been in the club 12 years or 10 minutes, you have to fight for your place. Serene come in. I think he did a very good job. I described to the dressing room that we don't have a number 1 and a number 2. We have 2 number 1s, and Rob knows that he has to fight like everybody else has to fight. I mean, let's get it right. When Serene come in, I think that we won 2 games. Rob come back for Enfield, and Serene hadn't done anything wrong. So I think it was the right time of watching Serene training that he was given the opportunity to respond. People make too much of these things. If it was a big drama, I would have met Rob yesterday. I would have taken him for a coffee. I would have spoken to him privately and explained that I'm going to pick Serene. He knows the score. Everybody knows the score. Everybody on the pitch, whether you are the goalkeeper, whether you're the centre forward, you have to fight for your place. And I know Rob, and I back Rob. I know that, I brought Amadou Tangara, who's a great goalkeeper, into this club. Rob's levels rose. And whenever you bring competition on Rob, his levels go through the roof. And I would expect a really positive response in seeing his levels go through the roof. So there's no drama there. The situation with Jason Bantam is, look, we have to be honest and say the Potters Bar game was not a good performance. We can speak of the referee, we can speak of a difficult playing surface that day. I can speak of all my frustrations, but if we speak of the bottom line, it wasn't a good performance. And my experience of being in this situation in Carshalton, when we went through a mini blip at this time and got to the playoff final, we had to have the ability to grind out results. We did the same in Merstham. Merstham had that ability to either outplay teams, win by 2s and 3s, or grind out results in 1-0. And so we've had meetings all week. We spoke on Sunday to Jason. I spoke to the whole team on Zoom on Monday. We trained. And so we have to change a slightly different dynamic in the team. And as a result of that, Jason will be going on loan for the rest of the season. Nothing against Jason. Great guy. Fantastic player. Just, I explained to him that I think the team needs a different dynamic. Jason understandably wants to play, and I would expect to deal with Bishop Stortford to go through in the next 24 hours. And just so he put the record straight, in that deal, he's not allowed to play against Kingstonian. But we wish him well. Look, the facts are the facts. The days of Kingstonian being a money tree is before I arrived, they've gone. I've got a budget to respect. If we bring people into the club, we have to balance books. So we spent the last few days doing exactly that, respecting the budget and just changing a little bit of the dynamic of the team.
One final thing, Boreham Wood. We don't like him, Hayden.
No, I know. I got that really wrong, didn't I? Sorry.
We don't wish them well against Everton.
No.
We hope they crash out of the cup, and we were really sad that they beat Bournemouth.
I did the interview with James, and I was trying to, show respect for their achievements. And when I went to Boreham Wood with Bromley, they were as nice as pie. But the worst thing, I was at that game. I was actually at that game and looked in absolute disbelief. Yeah. So, no offence made, apologies, and I think I properly put my foot in it there. I think we'd just hate Boreham Wood then. Yeah,
it's fine. We'll get you to say nice things about Wimbledon and Sutton and that kind of stuff instead. Anyway, on to Saturday. We'll see you then.
Thank you very much. Cheers.